There is a conversation happening about you right now. You didn't choose this person. You don't even know them. They were assigned to your case. And this defense cannot be revoked by any attack, any smear campaign, or any hand raised against you. You found this video because something has been set in motion on your behalf, even if you haven't seen the results yet. And before this is over, I'm going to give you a 3-step protocol to activate your awareness of what's being done for you, without you even having to ask. Stay with me until the very end. Before we're done, you'll have the full blueprint to recognize the shield that is already over your life. But first, let's talk about something you know all too well. It's not just general anxiety. It's that specific, hollow feeling between knowing you're exposed and fearing that no one is watching your back. It's waking up at 3:00 a.m., mentally scanning a list of people who might be trying to undermine you, and losing sleep because the math just doesn't add up. It's that gut feeling that someone was dragging your name through the dirt this week. It's not a guess. It's a physical weight sitting right between your chest and your throat. It doesn't go away with a distraction or a quick prayer. It's seeing a door slam shut and immediately trying to figure out who pushed it. It's the exhaustion of not knowing who to trust, of making yourself smaller in conversations because you've learned the hard way that being seen comes with a price. It's feeling like you're out on a field all alone while everyone else has allies, networks, and someone whispering their name in the right rooms. And you feel like you've only got yourself, but you're still standing. That isn't a fluke. Hit the like button as your public amen. Heaven keeps a record of what you confess in the open. Here is exactly what this video is going to give you. You are not unprotected. I have placed someone between you and what's coming. You don't need to know their name for the defense to be real. First, the spiritual truth behind your struggle. What you've interpreted as strategic loneliness, that feeling of having no network, no allies, no one in your corner, is not abandonment. It's the sign that God positioned an intercessor in your place before you even knew you needed one. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video. Before you even knew you needed one. When you don't have a voice in certain rooms, it's because a more powerful voice has already entered on your behalf. Second, a 3-step protocol you can execute today. 3 specific actions to shut down your defensive crouch and move into the confidence of someone who knows they're covered. Not by blind faith, but by recognizing the evidence already present in your life. Third, a declaration for tomorrow. You're going to leave here with a phrase that flips the narrative, from "no one is for me" to the exact name of who is. Stay with me. Don't break the connection. Now close your eyes for a second. Obviously, don't do this if you're driving or in a spot where you need to be alert, but turn your attention inward. What I'm about to tell you requires you to be present, because for years, you've probably been calling these signs by the wrong names. Sign number 1. You start talking and people suddenly change the subject. Physically, it feels like your voice has no weight. You say something in a meeting, in a group text, or a casual conversation, and there's no echo. The topic shifts. The room moves on without you. You've called this social invisibility. You thought it was a flaw in your personality. You thought you needed to be louder. You didn't. I have removed your dependency on human validation. Why do you need an audience for a mission that already has a divine witness? Sign number 2. Doors closing for no reason. It's that hard no, No formal rejection letter, no explanation, just silence. A job opening, a contract, a relationship, gone without warning. You called this a systemic failure. You felt like the deck was stacked against you, but it was something else. I closed what would have detoured you. The door that stayed open is the one I guarded for you. Sign number 3. Someone who should have destroyed you couldn't pull it off. Think back to a situation that could have ended everything important in your life, but it didn't. A conflict that went too far but somehow didn't have the fallout it should have. An accusation that just wouldn't stick. You called it luck. You called it timing. You called it a coincidence. But coincidences don't have a pattern. It wasn't luck. I put someone between you and that fire before you even smelled the smoke. Sign number 4. You feel like you're being watched, but it's not threatening. It's a presence. Not paranoia, but a specific calm that shows up during high-pressure moments, like there's a witness in the room. You breathe differently when you're alone under pressure than you used to. You called this getting used to the stress or introversion. It wasn't. You are feeling the coverage. It's not your imagination. It's the atmosphere I create when I enter the room before you do. Sign number 5. People who barely know you are singing your praises in high places. You get feedback from a third party. Someone mentioned your name in a meeting you weren't invited to. An opportunity drops in your lap because of a referral from someone you haven't talked to in years. You called this passive networking. You called it a fluke. There are no flukes. I moved their mouths. I placed your name where your feet couldn't reach yet. That's not a social network. That's a decree. Type free in the comments if this is hitting home for you. Close your eyes again. Take a deep breath. This won't work if your attention is divided. There's a story in the book of 2 Samuel, and it's actually about you. Mephibosheth never asked for protection. He wasn't on anyone's most likely to succeed list. He was the son of someone who had been the king's enemy. By any human logic, his fate was to be erased. Not because King David was cruel, but because of political reality, you eliminate the heirs of the old regime. But then David asked, "Is there anyone left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake?" Mephibosheth had no idea he was being remembered. He didn't know he had an intercessor, Jonathan, who had been dead for years, whose love was still acting as a legal guarantee in the king's ear. He lived for years hiding in Lo-debar, a name that literally means no pasture, a dead-end town, a place of invisibility, never knowing his name was being held in a promise someone else had made for him. When the king's messengers showed up, Mephibosheth was terrified. He asked, "Who am I, that you should notice a dead dog like me?" But the decree was already signed. The table was already set. The land had already been restored. All he had to do was show up. And there's a concept in the American legal system that completes this. It's called amicus curiae, a friend of the court. This is someone who isn't a party to the lawsuit. You didn't hire them. They don't get a paycheck if you win. But they enter the case because the outcome affects something much bigger than just your individual situation, and their presence changes the weight of the entire argument. No one being defended by an amicus curiae ever asks for it. The intervention happens because someone with a higher perspective decided that what's at stake is too important to leave to chance. You are in the middle of a trial right now. Someone has entered as a friend of your cause, not because you asked, not because you're better than anyone else, but because what's at stake in your destiny is bigger than what you can see from the ground. Tell me in the comments, do you identify more with Mephibosheth, the person who was remembered when they least expected it, or the amicus curiae, the person who was defended without ever hiring a lawyer? Let's stop for a full minute. Look at what is objectively true. There are people who tried to reach doors that should have been open to you, and they were stopped. Not by your strength, but by an intervention you didn't see. There are moments when a hit should have landed, but it missed. That's not a statistic. That's a pattern. Mephibosheth spent years not knowing a promise was working for him. By the time he got to the palace, the paperwork was done. He just had to occupy the space. A friend of the court doesn't ask the defendant for permission. They enter because the cause justifies it. And here is who you are in the middle of all this. I have put your name in mouths you've never even met. I closed the doors that would have cost you years. I didn't need your strategy to defend you. I only needed your willingness to keep moving. You kept moving. I did the rest. Your first identity, the covered. The origin of this is a promise made for you before you were even born into this purpose. You've been living under a shield you didn't recognize. Every attack that lost its momentum, every door that locked before it could trap you, every time your name was spoken in the right rooms while you were somewhere else. This authorizes you to do one thing. Stop operating out of the fear of being unprotected. Being covered isn't conditional on you noticing it. It works whether you know it or not, but it works a lot better when you stop acting like you're on your own. Your second identity, the reserved. This means God set something specific aside for you for a specific moment, and for that to happen, some other doors had to slam shut. What felt like rejection was actually a reservation. What felt like being forgotten was actually timing. You were guarded from detours that would have cost you what's about to arrive. This authorizes you to receive what was kept for you without apologizing for how long it took. The person who was reserved isn't late. They arrive exactly when what was being prepared is finally ready. Your third identity, the sent with an escort. The origin of this is that your mission has real opposition, and that opposition confirms your mission is real. A mission without a fight is just a hobby. For every person working against you, there has been an intervention you didn't log in your journal. Your security detail isn't visible, but the evidence of it is. You're still here, you're still moving, and the core of who you are is still intact. This authorizes you to advance knowing you aren't going in alone. An escort doesn't make the road flat. It just guarantees you reach the destination. Write in the comments which identity you recognize in yourself right now. Covered, reserved, or escorted. And subscribe to the channel so the next word finds you already standing in your true identity. Now I'm going to give you that protocol I promised. No cost. You can start tonight. The protocol of the 3 recognitions. Step 1. Name the evidence. Tonight, before you go to bed, get a physical piece of paper. Not your phone, not a screen, and write down 3 situations from the last 6 months where something that should have hit you didn't finish the job. It doesn't have to be a movie scene, a conversation that didn't escalate, a rumor that didn't gain traction, a loss that was contained. Write it as a fact, not an opinion. This happened. It didn't break me. That's it. Writing it on paper is you acting as a witness to what was done for you. Step 2. Declare the intercessor. Holding that paper, say it out loud. There is someone positioned between me and what's coming. I don't need to know their name. The defense is real. Say it once, not 3 times, not 7. Once is a decree, repetition is insecurity. Someone who knows their security detail is real doesn't need to shout to convince themselves. Step 3. Release the perimeter. For 5 minutes, set a timer. Just sit there without trying to figure out who might be working against you. Don't do this as a generic spiritual exercise. Do it as an act of recognition. Someone with an escort doesn't have to pull guard duty alone. The sign of confirmation isn't a vibe or a chill. It's a specific kind of stillness. A quietness you'll recognize because it didn't come from your own effort. In the next 72 hours, 3 things are going to be thrown at you. Not as a possibility, as a certainty. Tactic 1. The messenger of doubt. This person will look like a well-meaning friend. They'll say something that sounds like wisdom, but it'll be laced with skepticism about what you received today. It won't be an attack. It'll be playing devil's advocate. It'll sound like they're looking out for you. Your weapon against this is to ask yourself, does this person have evidence of the contrary, or are they just uncomfortable with a certainty they don't have? Skepticism without evidence isn't maturity. It's just the low debar mentality. Tactic 2, strategic fatigue. This will show up tonight or tomorrow morning, a very specific kind of exhaustion. Not a hit the gym tired, but a what's the point? Tired. It'll feel like realism. Your weapon against this is recognizing the timing. Purposeful exhaustion always shows up right after your purpose has been named. It's the last line of defense for the old blockages. Tactic 3, the substitute urgency. A real demand, practical, legitimate, and urgent, will pop up exactly when you sit down to do the protocol of the 3 recognitions. It won't be a fake problem. It'll be a real one, and it'll want your attention right now. Your weapon against this is recognizing the mechanics. The resistance doesn't create fake problems. It uses real problems to push your breakthrough until tomorrow. And tomorrow doesn't exist in a decree. And then there's the internal enemy, the voice that says you're overthinking it, that it's just a coincidence, that it's arrogant to think there's a specific defense over your life, you out of all people. That voice has a name. It's the voice of Lo-Debar, the voice of the dead-end town where Mephibosheth lived, convinced he was a dead dog. That voice lies with humility. It sounds reasonable. It sounds modest. Do not trust it, especially when it's dressed up as common sense. Write protected in the comments. The decree is sealed. Now, wherever you are, sit back. Place both hands open on your lap, palms up. Not as a symbolic gesture, but as the physical posture of someone who receives, not someone who defends. There is a physical difference between those two states. Feel it. Drop the weight of everything you carried this week, trying to calculate where the next threat is coming from. That weight doesn't leave through effort. It leaves through recognition. You are not exposed. You are covered. Breathe. I saw those early hours when you stayed awake calculating who was against you. I was there, not to show you a list of enemies, but to show you that the list of those who are for you is longer. You didn't see me that night, but I was standing between you and what was trying to reach you. I saw that door close, and you thought you'd lost everything, but I knew what it would have cost you if it had stayed open. I saw the moment you made yourself small in a conversation because you were afraid of the cost. And I was there, guarding the things that no human being can take from you. Keep going. What has been given to you doesn't depend on you protecting it. It depends on you receiving it. You are mine, and what's mine, I keep. Put your right hand over your heart. Say it out loud. I am covered. I am reserved. I go with an escort. Something has been named here today, and what is named is recognized. And what is recognized can no longer be ignored. You are not the same person who started this video. Amen? Write done in the comments. The decree has been confirmed. If you know someone who wakes up at 3 a.m. feeling exposed, not knowing who they can trust, send this video to that specific person. Not to a group chat, to them. Because this message was prepared for the person who needs to hear that they aren't alone on the field. And if you want to go deeper, the link is in the first comment, waiting for you just like it waited for Mephibosheth. It is done. You are not who you were when this message began. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, Tap the link in the comments right below this video.